Time coming for anybody who's been trying to go to the splash pad at Veterans Park in Tupelo. It has not been working for about a year or so now, but I have good news for all the folks in the back. The park is back open. Of course, it's raining now, so I don't know if you really want to go to the splash pad or not, but it's open nonetheless.
So again, progression. We're always looking for things to get a little bit better. Of course, you're talking about that with news, many other stories coming up here in a couple minutes. Can't wait to hear about that because as we all know, anytime we turn the rain machine off, we go back to a stormier pattern. Clarksdale, we're in some of those storms in and around the Delta that are, again, heaviest with heavy rainfall, maybe a little bit of gusty wind that we've haven't had a lot of reports of issues with that so far. Going down to Sharkey County, we mentioned this Rolling Fork, one of those locations where we did have, again, flash flood warning for locations north of you in effect, but not, of course, for the city at this point where it comes in 86 degrees at this point and time. So Clarksdale, Tallulah, back toward Tunica and Cleveland, heavy rainfall, the main story just out of these. We'll put this into motion, make it a 1-hour loop here. And you can tell just there is a little bit of a circulation, generally speaking, with this kind of a mid-level and surface low pressure center there. And it's actually working its way back toward the west. We call that retrograding. And almost any time we talk about that being part of what we're dealing with, we are usually talking about heavy rainfall or being stuck with something, and that certainly qualifies out there this evening. So we do have, again, a flash flood threat that's out there, level 2 out of 4 flash flood threat for locations, really the southern 2/3 of the area. That threat by tomorrow becomes a little bit less of a concern as we hope to dislodge this low pressure center somewhat and hopefully reduce some of those rain chances just a little bit more. So looking over the course of the first 12 here, we're about 50% on that rain coverage as of 6 p.m., diminishing to around 30% by 9 p.m. and 10% after that. Probably some fog in the wake of this system that develops as we head overnight. Back to Mama Justice Doppler, big red L right over top of us, and it is just kind of parked over us, as we mentioned a moment ago, kind of meandering back toward the west. At some point, it will kick out and the rain chances will start diminishing a little bit. But with that directly overhead, we just have the Gulf wide open to bring moisture up. It focuses it, and we get the showers and thunderstorms and heavy rainfall that we have seen. And you'll notice on Futurecast that does continue into the evening as this does continue to try to slide back toward the west a little bit more. Now, diminishing in overall coverage, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Not a whole lot out there as we head toward the first part of tomorrow. But we will still have some showers redeveloping along and near that frontal boundary, along and near that low pressure center. And I think, again, that's why we don't remove the rain chances completely as we go into your Wednesday. And you'll notice here on that hour-by-hour forecast, about 30% on the rain coverage as we head toward midday tomorrow. After starting off low 70s, we'll be about 82 by noon, 86 degrees as we head toward afternoon. Again, we're not extreme on the heat. We still have lots of clouds and still a decent number of showers. But anytime we show 30%, that means about 70% of us watching now probably don't get it at any given time. I think it'll be intermittent the way we end up seeing these showers fall out of this. Now, coming up here in 60 seconds on Mississippi Live, again, Emily talking about the return of splash pads and all your news headlines as Mississippi Live continues here from our Weather Center. And again, appreciate our premier partner there, St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Get those Dream Home tickets today for a $100 donation. You could save kids with cancer and possibly win a house constructed by Tucker Construction in the Spring Lake subdivision worth almost right at $750,000. More news right after this.
Every legend starts somewhere.
Not with perfection, but with the decision.
The decision to show up, work harder, and believe this place can change everything.
At Northeast, you're more than just a number.
We're built on opportunity, and our students are willing to rise to the occasion.
Here, success isn't handed to you. It's earned.
You don't just leave with a degree, you leave as a legend.
It's happening right now. No sales tax at Room to Room Furniture in Tupelo.
Wait, no tax?
No tax?
No tax. No sales tax.
Did we mention no sales tax? It's happening at Room to Room Tupelo.
Hello and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for Mississippi Live. I'm Emily Leonard. Yazoo City named a new police chief, and his name should sound pretty familiar to you. Yazoo City Mayor Macklin Austin confirmed the city hired Police Chief Joseph Daughtry to be its new chief of police. Daughtry is currently the police chief in Columbus, but has notified the city of Columbus of his decision. Austin says Daughtry will work to rebrand and rebuild the city's police department, and the city stands behind its decision.
And regardless of what news outlets may say, or other cities or other counties, the man we chose, Joseph Daughtry, Chief Daughtry, his record speaks for itself. His record speaks for itself. There's going to always be negative things people can say on somebody, old history. The truth is the truth, you all. We have spoken with him. We have interviewed him. We have checked references. And this is going to be the man for the job for Yazoo City.
The mayor says Daughtry will be sworn in as chief in 2 weeks. The city says they will also discuss pay raises for its officers in October. Tuesday afternoon, the city of Columbus did respond to Daughtry's decision, and you can read their response right now on the Mississippi Live Facebook page. The parks are finally in, and now the splash pad at Veterans Park in Tupelo is back open. It's been out of commission for nearly a year, waiting on, well, those parts. So you know what this means? It means that all 3 city splash pads are now up and running. They're in Nichols Park, Veterans Park, and Joyner. They're open from 10 in the morning to 7 at night, and they are free. You can read more on the story in the Daily Journal. Folks in Alabama will get their chance to shop tax-free this weekend. The state's back-to-school sales tax holiday starts this Friday and runs through Sunday, just like Mississippi's. But there's a big difference between Mississippi's tax-free weekend and Alabama's. Specifically when it comes to technology, Alabama allows you to buy a computer sales tax-free. Mississippi doesn't. For a list of what is and is not eligible, go to our Facebook page. Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining us here on Mississippi Live. I'm Emily Leonard. Have a great day.
Boys and Girls Club of North Mississippi presents Dance Like the Stars 2026, Saturday, August 8th at the Huntington Bank Arena. Floor seating is $50 and general admission seating is $20. All proceeds benefit the Boys and Girls Clubs of North Mississippi. For more information, visit bgcnms.org.
Welcome to the next generation of local news, Mississippi Live. Where you are, when you want it, we're focused on you because local matters. We are Mississippi Live.
Right now, from the Mississippi Live Weather Center, here's Mississippi's Chief Meteorologist, Matt Laubheim.
We're looking live in Amory this evening. It's a mix of clouds and it is a tolerable temperature. The fact we're 81, that's very manageable for this time of the year. Of course, we've had a lot of showers around. Those have largely moved on out, sliding down to Ackerman where we still have a few that are heavier. The farther south and west we go, again, they're more plentiful, but just mainly raindrops all over the screen there. I appreciate our partners there at Fastnet for helping us with this camera network we have here across North Mississippi. As we go back out toward Greenville, again, closer to the heart of it, the showers and storms are heavier there in and around the Greenville area. And we have had, again, a few pictures coming in of sporadic damage related to the storms today. I want to bring in our meteorologist, Gabe Maynor, who's been kind of looking at those pictures that you have shared with us. Gabe, what do you have?
Well, honestly, the reports that are coming in of any damage are not severe weather related. This is actually due to a lightning strike that moved through Ecru, and you can see how that struck the tree, that line right there in the middle of the trunk, unfortunately, probably killing the tree in the process. But glad that everyone is okay. Checked with Robbie and Clara out there in Ecru, and they told me that everyone is okay. We did get a few SLC submitted here to Mississippi Live Weather, and you can see those are just basically some scary looking clouds, the tentacles dripping down there from from the clouds, and that's where we're getting some of those scary looking clouds, but more bark than bite in the grand scheme of things. More of those out of Water Valley sent into us. And then this will look out of Boonville. Some more clouds looking similar fashion, Matt, but luckily no severe weather to report. It just continues to be that flash flooding concern heading into tonight.
Man, hopefully that's the way it remains. Appreciate that, Gabe. And for folks out there, if you have not taken the time, download the Mississippi Live app. It's probably the easiest way that you can share those pictures with us and directly with us, with the folks there at the National Weather Service as well. It's not often that Iuka is one of our warmer spots, but at 82 it is this afternoon. Appreciate Farmers and Merchants Bank for, again, sponsoring our camera up there in the Iuka area. Well, flash flood warning, though, is the headline. Not a lot of rain still there near Silver City, stretching back closer to locations south of Greenville, was a lot heavier even an hour ago. There's not a ton of movement on these, which always makes tracking storms like this a little difficult. We are seeing some additional development out here closer to Clarksdale. These are actually kind of moving a little bit up here, Clarksdale and Friar Point, back toward the west. And yes, that is a weird direction, but it's not unified, unfortunately, which makes kind of tracking these from time to time a little difficult there because they have a tendency to kind of all go the direction that they want to when they want to do it. So we'll track that. Give me a moment here. Back toward the east, we'll say, God, 18 miles per hour might be going a little too fast with that, but we'll go there. With that about Helena Crossing right now. Dickerson, we're looking at about 514, Sessions about 516, and eventually they're closer to stay Y Camp at 525. Still a little time from now before that happens. On the wider shot, again, we're on the downswing overall on the coverage, but it's an odd direction there again from the south and east to the north and west there, as you can just basically see the spin associated with our upper level, mid-level system right over top of us here. On the wider shot, again, low pressure, the reason why this is kind of the focal point for storms and just kind of have that circulation drawing moisture right out of the Gulf of Mexico and spinning around the center of this. So we'll continue to have rainfall as we go into this evening because of that and the overnight hours. I went ahead and left the L over top of this here. But the takeaway, if you kind of go a little wider, is that maybe a few of these storms a little heavier back out closer to the Alabama state line. Again, trying to work their way back toward the north and east. We'll continue to have, again, some spotty showers through the overnight hours, but notice how there's just a lesser quantity there, even by 9 to 10 o'clock. And while a rumble or two possible overnight, it's unlikely for most of us to see a lot. The problem is whenever you have one of these stalled systems, it doesn't take much for one of these to kind of line up at the same spot, and then the spotty flash flooding a possibility there because there's so little movement. We're not thinking tornadoes, nothing like that. Severe weather for the most part, nothing like that. It's the flooding rainfall that remains the concern. Looking at rainfall totals on this between now and, say, early tomorrow, you'll notice on here some spots where we indicate perhaps up where we have the oranges there, 3 or 4 inches a possibility, but a lot of locations, a lot less than that. We've really seen the heaviest we'll see today at this point, but in a few spotty spots, obviously spotty spots, if that's a right way to describe it, we're going to have some issues, but hopefully that's not the case for most locations here. So look at low temperatures for tomorrow morning around the 70-degree point. Anytime that's the case, we kind of rejoice because it's July. It's not usually that mild. 70 in Greenwood, 69 Kosciuszko, Louisville, and 71 degrees in Belzona. Pool day forecast as we watch that countdown to August 1st. Only 17 days left. 74 at 8 a.m. or 82 by noon. And yes, I think we're more primed to be a little hotter tomorrow, and that will probably help, again, make for a slightly better pool day than where we were today. And appreciate IMPC, our partners there on the pool day forecast. So some showers again on the wider shot back out into Oklahoma and back out into Arkansas. As we bring it back here, same low pressure center overhead. I just want to make sure we could be a little more precise on our tracking of these showers. We'll continue to have the potential to try to redevelop some of those through midday tomorrow. Notice how little movement they have, though, kind of popping up and then maybe moving a county or so over a 3-hour span. That's where, again, those spots of flash flooding could be a possibility just because there's so little movement on the showers and where they're popping up. A lot of us, though, probably in the dry category, but if you get one over you, it's just going to kind of keep coming. So 87 degrees, that's high temperature in Tupelo and Amory for tomorrow, 87 Starkville. Normal this time of year, 92. So once again, we're on the correct side of that with mid-90s for the heat in this season. The Delta, still 93, what it'll feel like Tupelo, Amory, and Houston. So it's not a particularly cool day, but cooler than maybe what we're typically used to. Now notice how we changed things there. You had the red and blue indicating the front. Now the brown line here, we call it trough of low pressure. It's kind of like a front. except for there's no real difference of cold air on either side. It's just an area that kind of lifts, so we'll activate with some isolated showers. It's a sign that things are kind of weakening, but still maybe just enough lift to have some showers trying to redevelop on this, again, as we head toward your Thursday. But you'll notice for your Wednesday night, relatively dry with low 70s to maybe some upper 60s out there to begin early Thursday. 69 Red Bay, Hamilton, about 70 degrees in Bruce, Eupora, Grenada, and 71 for Greenwood and Belzona. So this boundary overhead probably ignites with a couple of showers and storms on Thursday, but not as many. Notice here we're for noontime, which has typically had a lot of showers by that point. Not much showing up out there at that point in time. Go a little wider here for a moment. You'll notice that even on our more aggressive strike model, it's not really much. The whole region back out into eastern Alabama where we're more likely to see something. And again, a couple pop-ups because 'tis the season. We've had enough rainfall that we'll probably still have a couple of those trying to bubble up. So highs on your Thursday typically should be around 92, as we mentioned. 90 in Grenada, 91 degrees Greenwood and Eupora, 90 in Louisville, and 85 in Hamilton, Alabama, and 84 degrees in Red Bay. So obviously coolest near the Mississippi-Alabama state line and up near the Tennessee state line. So 7-day forecast has us sitting around 86 degrees for the high on your Wednesday there. We're 88 by Thursday, 90 by Friday. All you have to do is kind of remove some of the rain chances, and obviously the temperatures start bumping up a little higher. 92 as we go towards Saturday, 93 Sunday, 95 by Monday. So just in time to kind of shut the rain machine down. What naturally happens? It's July. We get hot, we get sticky. And when you're in the mid-90s, like what we're looking at here for probably Sunday and Monday, and low temperatures, mid-70s, it's probably high enough that we're back to heat advisories. And hopefully we don't find ourselves hot enough where we have those excessive heat warnings. That very much remains a possibility that we could. Let's go ahead and pop up our chat here for a moment. Let's see what everyone's doing, how everyone's doing at home. Hopefully you guys are having a great day today. You know, asking about Columbus. Again, heavy rainfall, the main issue out of any of these thunderstorms where we have had them there. Not expecting really any sort of big issues there in Water Valley. So hopefully everybody's having a good day. We appreciate y'all for watching us all across the region and supporting us here on Mississippi Live. And if you, I popped this up for a hot second earlier, but if you have not yet taken the time to download the Mississippi Live app, we certainly appreciate that for all the folks that have done that. Here are some QR codes to get you connected where you can share your latest information with us, your pictures, things of that nature, and we really appreciate it. And of course, you can watch both our weather and news products in there. Speaking of news, our Emily Leonard, again, is going to be back with Mississippi Live News coming up at 6 p.m. And Emily, I'm curious to see if you'll give us a teaser on what we have coming up during our 6 o'clock broadcast here. I'll let her get into position for a moment. Okay, so what do we have coming up during the 6 o'clock show?
A announcement in Lowndes County. 100 new jobs from Aluminum Dynamics is coming to the Golden Triangle, which job creation is such a big deal around here. It's a big deal to any local economy, but it's always such great news to hear that. Also, a highway dedication in Pontotoc County dedicated to a man who was the town marshal of Thaxton, O'Neill Warren, a great guy. He passed away earlier this year, and MDOT has announced they're going to be dedicating a portion of 336 to him and his family. So that's some news that we'll have coming up at 6. Also, there's a store opening up in Ridgeland, but I'm going to make a guess which one.
Well, now I'm curious. I'd have no clue which one it's going to be. So, okay. Well, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Pretty good tease there. Again, that'll be coming up tonight at 6 p.m. And again, on the weather front there at 6 o'clock, looking towards, again, some of the extended rain chances and how high some of those heat indices could get. Because I know that we're about at that time where some of the outdoor workouts are going to start picking up for kids doing athletics. We'll be looking at that wet bulb globe temperature or heat stress. So you can kind of plan ahead, get an idea on how rough that could be. That's coming up on Mississippi Live at 6. And we can appreciate our premier partner there, St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Get those